Hey everyone, and welcome to week 6. We're already halfway through the term and moving quickly. So to-do lists for week 6. So before I get started on that, I just want to give some feedback overall on last week's backwards design and lesson plan templates. So make sure most of you are aware of this, but you should be addressing all standards for your STEM unit, and you should be creating learning targets, activities, all that align with those standards. So you should have a engineering, a science, a math, and a literacy standard that you're working on for this unit. So moving forward with that, so for your STEM project, you're just this week kind of continuing to work on those lesson plans and populate information. I hope you had a chance to take a look at the academic language resources that I've made available and have tackled the section of your lesson plans, maybe with the academic language information. And that was helpful as you think about your EdTPA and how to better address that. Your rough draft of your entire lesson plan, so the full lesson plan, will be due on February 23rd. So this week we're going to talk a little bit about how to better address the sections on diversity and differentiation and really looking at how to address your students' needs. So you're going to be looking at different populations of students, and hopefully you'll be able to pick a population that's something that you'll be actually encountering in your setting or where you think you'll be teaching in the future. So there's several underrepresented populations in STEM that you have to choose from. And so as you're working in this project, I challenge you to really think about the strategies that are being discussed and explained that apply to your population, and think about how those might work for your students, and use that information to more specifically complete the lesson plan sections under differentiation. So that's the equity strategies paper. So your task, you started hopefully last week kind of doing some research, looking at the NGSS appendix that has case studies. This week I want you to actually choose one of those underrepresented populations, and I want you to actually complete on in the shared Google Drive for our class. There is a spreadsheet or an Excel sheet, Google sheet actually, that has a place for you to indicate your choice. And so please do that first, because I would like only 2 people to have the same population so that we get a good range. And so those of you that are more proactive will more likely get your population of choice. So the quicker you and more on top of doing that you are, the better chance you have of getting the population you want to study. So please do this before you actually start doing your collection of resources to make sure you are choosing one that hasn't already been saturated. So once you've chosen your population, you're going to compile a list of 10 resources that provide information on how to address that population and better support that population in STEM areas. So I have actually included some folders in the Moodle site on different populations and some resources that you can take a look at and consider. So if you're on our Moodle page and you scroll down to the equity controversial topic resources, you'll see culture, which aligns with race and ethnicity. You see women in STEM, learning disabilities, English language learners, and tags. So those are the choices you have of populations that I've already provided some resources for. So once you've got your population identified and you've done some, make sure you've completed your research on all of these different kinds of accommodations for different folks. Then you're going to develop your expertise in this particular area. And the reason I want you to all do different ones is so that we can come together and share expertise and build on all of our knowledge together for how to address these populations. So your list, 10 different resources. They should be from a mix of different kinds of professional sources like websites, professional organizational statements, research articles, TED Talks, videos, lesson plans, those kinds of things. And so you'll have your list, a description of each resource, and then the third part that you need to include is how will this be used in your classroom, or how will you use it in the future in the classroom to better address this population. So you can do that in a chart, you can do that as a list, as a paper, that's up to you. But what I would like you to do is make sure that you give a good enough description that we'll know what it's about, where to find it, and how to use it in a classroom with these students. We will eventually share those lists on the Google shared drive, and we'll talk about them the next time we face-to-face class the end of February. So that's your equity strategies paper that's due, and that paper is due on, oops, wrong page. Still the wrong page. There we go. Is due on February 16th, so next Sunday at midnight. So make sure that you share it on Moodle and then you upload it to our shared Google folder. If you have any questions about the assignments this week, please contact me and let's get it straightened out. So I feel like there may have been a disconnect with a couple of people on the technology research paper. So please make sure you're reading the instructions carefully, and if you're confused about anything, please make sure to get in touch with me. The other thing I want to say is if you did get a lower grade on a paper than you thought you should earn, or that you would like to revisit and revise, I'm always happy to take revised work and give you full credit as long as you address any feedback. So with that, I'll sign off and hope you have a good week, and talk to you soon.